me a little video of the guy. I went, oh, my God, I saw that. Because I remembered how good looking he was. But I remember looking at him thinking, why would a good-looking guy, and I was younger than him at the time, but I guess I've gotten older because now I think I'm older than him. So I don't get it. But
No.
Not,
he's 76.
Okay.
He's 76.
Okay, so I was about 8 years younger than him. But, you know, at that age when you're like 16 or so, he's 28 or something, we'll have to ask what year he wrote that song. But I remember seeing the good-looking man, wondering why he didn't play the trumpet. So God, you can say there's a God, but whoever, the immortal divinity of whoever we are, that creates everything. The thing is, put something in me, like we all do, to meet rich and famous people, but to know someday in my future he'd come and do a radio show with me, which he's going to come next week because of you guys. But I remember thinking, why is he not playing the trumpet? Because that thing on the tuba, the mouthpiece, was huge. And I remembered it from band because we had tuba players, at least 2 or 3, you know, all the big high school bands. But I remembered that thought. And that's, Suzanne, you're big on past life regression and then memories. And so we're going to get into a little bit of that, but we've only got like 15 minutes, right? Is that right? Can somebody check how many more minutes do we have?
40 minutes
we started late. Oh, we
have 40
did?
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 40 minutes to go.
Okay, good. I want to get into more of that. But anyway, let's plug them while they're here. So they're coming on Stan and Tara Freeze, folks. They're that famous couple that has the entertainment agency, and they book people, and they book bands, and they book, you know, their children work like Sting and Green Day, but they have a lot of young friends. But mine tonight is about baby boomer people, and the baby boomer people remember the people that were in my reality and my stars, you know, and so it's going to be interesting. But he played for Hee Haw, and he played at Disneyland. What's the basic stuff, Rich, that you know? Let's let you talk about Stan and Tara a little bit. Do you remember anything about them that you could share that, you know, to promote them for Tuesday?
Well, again, that goes back to my Disneyland days. So we were mutual friends with people involved at Disneyland. Ron Dominguez and my boss was Bo Foster, and they're just character guys. They're like from the Sinatra era, and so I guess they'd go drinking or hanging out together and stuff. So my brother and me, we connected Stan to all the people we saw at Disneyland, and so that's how I knew Stan from. Knew about his past.
I was with Frank Sinatra a lot on like Bob Hope when they'd come to Houston and hang out for years. I was a teenager. So you met Frank Sinatra, and I met his wife too.
No, I'm saying the people that were in that era, if we talk about different kind of eras, like baby boomers and stuff, the people that were older than us, like Stan Freeze and the people he was working with at Disney, they're more of the Sinatra era. We were the Beatle babies. And they were more of the Sinatra. Now, so I never met Sinatra, but I'm saying that's just a different time frame. So we saw those people as being, you know, the smokers and the drinking the martinis and those kind of guys. We're all smoking pot and, you know, drinking beer. So that was like a different crowd. They were all older than us, you know, but that's how I kind of connected with Stan because of mutual friends through Disneyland days.
Well, did you remember where you met him?
Stan, well, that was through Suzanne.
Yeah.
We got together was it the Tango or something? So,
all right.
So
Stan
came into Cafe 22 Tango for a retirement party. Did you meet him that time when he came in?
I don't remember that so much. I remember more of his birthday parties at Angelo and Vinci's in Fullerton.
Right, which is a tradition. Who started Angelo and Vinci's? I can never remember. Was it Gregory Peck?
Yeah, Gregory Peck or Stephen Peck, his brother.
Yeah. So TJ, do you remember Stephen Peck, the actor from the 50s and 60s?
Gregory Peck. I can't place Stephen Peck. Maybe if I saw him in a movie. I can't remember some names, but usually if they were movie stars, I love movie stars. And since I hung out with Bob Hope and Frank Sinatra and all those people, I used to see them on TV when I was a little kid. So, well, I was a little kid when I met them, but I was a teenager, married, and, going to country clubs. So when I met them with Gerlach Entertainment Agency booking them. So, but who's Stephen Peck?
So he took in Gregory Peck's brother. He took and opened a great restaurant. They're a really strong Italian family, and he opened this great restaurant in Fullerton. And if you ever get into Fullerton, it's really the place to stop at and get a great Italian meal. They use the recipes that they grew up with as children. But his half-brother was part of Shelley Mann's band, which was a jazz band.
Remember Shelley Mann? Oh, my God, all the names we're talking about tonight. Baby boomers, listen to us. Shelley Mann.
History.
Oh, wow.
Love it. Yeah. Love it, yeah. So, jazz night. You know what? That is one of the things that I feel kind of bad for this age group, is that going to a jazz nightclub, you didn't go to the jazz nightclub in order to get a buzz because the drinks were too expensive. And so if you went there, you really went there for the music.
Right.
So,
and they've done that many times, but more like Houston and Birmingham, Alabama. But, a lot of jazz clubs in the 70s when I was growing up, So I guess I was the 70s and 80s because I was dancing on stage to Michael Jackson's music in Houston at some of the discos in the early 80s and doing all those steps that he did. So I had no clue I was going to meet him someday and be a psychic for him. So you never know what's going to be in your future. But, oh, my gosh, this show's good. I like all the names that between all three of us. I think it's cool.
Rich, go back to the I took you out of the story of how you met Stan Freeze. Rich?
I really don't. I don't remember now. Like the first meeting. But I know.
All right.
I remember the parties. But no, I'm a big fan of his kids. They're not just in Green Day and Sting. They're like great session musicians. They play for all sorts of bands, Social Distortion and Nine Inch Nails, and if you look them up online, their credits are incredible. They're just the who's who of like modern rock music. I don't know if it's modern now, but no, it's just a real. You're talking about famous people, but these are just really talented people. That's the main thing. And same way with this Ira Smith and her wedding. We tell people, this was a multi-million-dollar wedding, but the thing was that you walk into it was magical. It wasn't just money. We've seen weddings with just money, and they are what they are. But people who are talented, people who are creative, people having a vision, and people have the means to do it. That's what it is. It's beautiful.
Some estimates place those two weddings at over $100 million each.
Yeah, but they're beautiful. You're just going, oh my God, this is where my analogy again, going back to Disneyland. You don't walk into Disneyland and go, hey, look how much they spent here. I mean, look how much that must have cost. Look how that much. No, you're lost in the magic of the moment. So that's the beauty of it all. But we've done weddings too. Huh?
Go ahead. I was just going to comment on the magic. I love that you said that, and I think Stan is going to bring that with Tara. They're such a beautiful couple, and I didn't know that he was who, like somebody in the, industry and as a musician and a famous television personality. So he's very humble, but so was Frank Sinatra and Bob Hope and all those people when you're up next to them and talking to them. Of course, I was young and pretty. I never could figure out why I was invited, but now as a 68-year-old, I realized I was the eye candy. But
right.
And I was the brunt of Bob Hope's. I'll never forget one being on stage in Dallas. I rode the bus with the musicians all the way up to Dallas, and Bob Hope put me on stage, and I was pretty, and they had me wear a blonde wig to be a blonde, which I didn't like because I was a brunette at the time. Now I'm white hair, we're red. But his joke was something about there he was playing golf. You know how he loved to golf with somebody, but the hole healed up, and people just loved it. And I still didn't get it, and that was the whole joke. And I still don't even know to this day if he's talking about golfing with the Pope or something, but the hole healed up with the ball or something. But, that was my job, was to be pretty and hang out with the stars and people, the big people with all these big, like you said, weddings and things. They'd always look at me wherever I was. At the time, I was 5'11", long brunette, hair down the back, and big boobs. But I guess in Houston, they must have not had too many spokesmodel people back then, because I can't figure out why I got all the gigs, So, but now I didn't paint like you did. You paint, but we need to explain that to people because, the gig now is virtual reality. Now, how are y'all going to virtual reality? You'll have people mail you a copy. My husband had university people mail him copies because they couldn't use real copies. They had to use artist rendition to teach in the university, like Roman warriors. And, you know what I mean? He had to draw them, and he'd get paid whatever he asked, which would only be like $100 or something. So, but I know yours is, explain to people what you do, because it's still, I've seen it now. I saw one of your YouTubes, or one of your people that came on this radio show, Hackman or somebody, did the MAM music. What is that?
NAM.
What was it?
National Association of Music Merchants. It's held in Anaheim. And so that was called the Drum Circle, and it was gifted from the city of Anaheim to the CEO of NAM as a gift, because everybody's vying to get this convention to come to their town at the beginning of the year, because it brings in millions of dollars to the city. So it's like it's one of their jewels they want to hang on to. And so they gave him the painting as a gift. So, hello?
Well, that's a beautiful film somebody did for you. But was that Suzanne?
Yeah, John Harnack.
One of your people? Suzanne, was that one of your people that filmed your husband for YouTube?
That's John Harnack. And the thing that was really great about it is that I was doing a seminar with Mary Morrissey, and I said, Rich, have John go with you, because John Harnack's the only person we know of who kept his ticket stub to Woodstock, and he was a big.
He's the only guy we know. He's the only guy we know who's been to Woodstock. He has the ticket and he has the poster. How many people do you know have been to Woodstock?
Yeah. I'd love to know somebody that went. I don't.
And he worked with the Johnny Cash show, so he was the cameraman for the Johnny Cash show back in the day.
I'll bet he knew Doc Severinsen. That was a real good friend of my husband's, because they both played trumpet together a lot and did those clinics in Houston and worked with entertainment. Do you remember Doc Severinsen, trumpet player?
Yeah, he was in the Silva Mind Control class I was in.
He was in your what?
It was called Silva Mind Control.
Oh,
Jose
wow.
Silva. The guy, I don't know if he invented the term or uses how he got the term, but every day and every way I'm getting better and better. That was attributed to Jose Silva.
Oh, huh.
I remember people used to always talk about Silva Mind Control. There must be a book or two about it, because it was really popular, and that was just dropped in a lot of conversations for baby boomers. And I know a lot of people that did have it. Now, I remember the names like L. Ron Hubbard, Werner Erhard, and then Gene Roddenberry, and the Indian 9 meeting at I can visualize the building, and it was like a 2 or 3 or 4 story older home-looking professorial place, but they all met. And it's odd that they went with Hawkins. Believe it or not, folks, of course, the man, you guys probably know him famously, Stephen Hawking, in the wheelchair. He, of course, he's passed, but that Stephen Hawking was talking with all these famous men of California and motivational speaking. It was it called, Suzanne, you may remember, was it the motivational meeting? They're sort of historians too. So what do they call
Right.
that? Motivational Times, 70s or some 80s?